Chill here with Sirius Taurus Moon. This is Moon Hour Mars Day. Moon is 17 degrees Aquarius. Mars is in a basic style with Saturn and Uranus. And Mercury is 29 degrees Capricorn. Sun ingress to Aquarius. Venus is with Pluto opening the cycle. I want to say something out there for the people that have um, particularly ritual abuse related dissociation or um, something that they're processing. And this is that the truth is important to your recovery and sovereignty. What do I mean by that? It's not about forcing memories onto the surface. I actually don't believe in forcing anything. The trauma was forcing. So I do believe in things emerging organically. And some people may feel called to bring certain memories to the surface. That's fine. If they're called to do that, amazing. That's going with the patient's intuition, with the patient's intuition, with the patient's intuition. Okay? Because patient sovereignty is the most important thing we want to align anybody with. And I'm speaking to people as themselves being the person recovering. Um, And the reason I'm saying that is because around the programming, there are types of programmings that try to perpetuate trauma when people try to speak, and types of programmings that try to remind people of a pleasant memory and try to erase all the other parts. Now, this both can be happening internally because of the fracture of the experience. Again, the experiences, many of them were juxtaposing something that is ethereal, that is either near death experience or love experience with horrific abuse. Okay, so some people might even feel love feelings but not be able to be intimate, or love feelings but if the boundary is not honored, then they are basically raped by a loved one. Oh, those are part of the traumas that are happening that would juxtapose people that both went through abuse and then juxtapose them together, using a lot of torture and basically trying to make them repeat one another's traumas. Um, and this is why the truth here is important. A pleasant experience doesn't negate the reality of the violence. Okay? Another thing that is important, that it happened in the astral doesn't mean that it didn't happen. Okay? And doesn't mean that it doesn't have also a lot of the physical implications, whether it's excess inflammation um, that affects both the body and the mind. And it's true when things that are happening in the physical, people um, feel. It's not about people feel. It's also about um, there would be there would be an immediate sign, although that depends on the type of techniques that they were using. But when something is also MK often using technology and dark occult, and those things are very much felt through dissociation. Okay, they create the full-blown effect of the mental dissociation, and that's the point. Okay, and those were done as a part of conglomerates. I know there was something like that done around 2007, something like that done around 2019. Unfortunately, Saturn Neptune is also associated with that type of atmosphere, and this is why I'm putting it out there for people to know that it's some sort of ritual that's affecting people that are not present in the ritual. And the many techniques that would be used to try to negate the reality of abuse are done to program people. to try to make them misaligned with their truth. Okay, by the way, a lot of the teachings of psychiatry negating recovery because what actually helps against schizophrenia? Believe the patient, stop targeting the patient, housing first independent of ability to work, and if there is, let's say, work or something like that, that it's actually supportive of the mental and physical health of the patient according to the patient. And this is the most important because all the policies that were around don't engage with psychotic content and so on and so forth. Those are a part of abuse, whether the psychiatrist is knowingly a part of the MK Ultra and MK Ultra, or is genuinely and authentically believing that they're helping the patient. It's negating the reconnection with the reality because it's not on the psychiatrist to approve the reality when they ignore the abuse. Um, this is really key to staying grounded and staying aligned in the face of many things that try to shake those understandings that they were a part of the programming to keep people disoriented, disembodied, not being able to have happy, thriving, intimate relations. Okay? Loving, happy, thriving, intimate relations. It's not about morals, it's not about the church. It's about having a happy, thriving life. Notice that I did not say monogamy. I did not say not monogamy. I did not say marriage. I did not say anything. I'm not here. I'm here in this journey as much as anyone. I'm not here to judge anybody or whatever their journey is. That, and people also have to remember that they don't give you the teachings like erotic intelligence, which is about, for example, why people cheat. And as an astrologer, I can say if people never have been aligned, if their parents, if anybody around them never have been aligned with embodied, loving, sensual sexuality, they don't even have a base ground. Okay. And again, people can be asexual. I'm not here to. People who are asexual, they can speak for themselves because they know what it's like. I am more demisexual, but this is each to their own. In any case, people have never had the base of something that is not rape culture and not misalignment culture, which is a byproduct of rape culture. Okay, sometimes it doesn't have to be rape. Sometimes people get into the trauma responses, and sometimes people clarify their boundaries very clearly, but running into people that violate that boundary because, I don't know, because they had a drink, because they were triggered, because another personality of them took over, I don't know. And are we gonna fumble with, was that rape, not rape? I mean, of course it was rape, but does it help to recover, to realign? It is important to understand that it was a violation of sexual boundary, even if there were feelings. And if somebody, let's say, I don't know, is demisexual, and they honestly describe that they can only be sexual when there's love, and that's a boundary for them, and somebody violates that, they create the effect of rape. They basically rape that person. They violated the sexual boundaries of that person. It's creating the full-blown effect of sexual violence. And Okay? And here is the thing. The reason that those things are used in these campaigns, whether to traffic people, to fragment people, to extort people, is simply because they are giving the effect of rape, which is dissociation, fragmentation, and then susceptibility to psychosis and mind control. Zero rape society is not a moral value. It's something that is a requirement to have life. Okay, just like if I don't let my, aromatherapist, if I tell the patient, take this oil, that oil, that oil, and that oil, but don't drink water. Not only do they have to drink extra water if they're working with something that is of detox and can be drying and so on, they would have the best essential oils out there, but they can't recover without water. And if they will try to implement that advice, they will eventually die, unless they would stop listening to anyone but themselves first and take with a grain of salt any advice. Even when I say something as astrologer, it can be applying to some people and then not applying to other people. Has no amount of certification, training, anything. I saw psychologists go completely dissociated into a frenzy of violence, and it is controlled violence because they're programmed with that. Now, what happens to the patient where the entire system is orchestrated against them, where each and every individual in the system is supposed to be in good faith, and in good faith they are believing that they're doing what's best for the patient, where they're not. I'm not even talking about full-blown MK Ultra and MK Ultra settings. That kills more people than cigarettes, than drugs, than car accidents, than cancer, than heart issues, than oversaturated meat. It's the silent death where everybody around thinks, oh, it's too bad if he would take only if they didn't want help. When that was the help, it was a highway to the grave. It's very difficult to hear that. But if we don't, we'll keep losing people. If we don't address that, I know it's a lot of shame. It's a lot of trauma. It's the last thing a person that deals with, let's say, a suicide or a death of a loved one wants to hear is, yes, you were a part of why they eventually killed themselves. It's the last thing anybody wants to hear. You want to hear you couldn't have done nothing more. You did your best. I can say that within what you knew up until this conversation, you probably were trying to make the best choices you could, listening to the doctors because you didn't know what to do. But I cannot tell you that those actions were not the very reason that you lost your loved one. And I can say, don't listen only to me, because there are many cases and there are many people. But do understand that the fact that people like me are alive is in spite of every single thing you have been taught. And swiping under the rug things as satanic panic and conspiracy will not prevent the death of those dearest to you.